Wish I never spoke. Now I gotta wash my mouth out with soap. I think I got myself in trouble, so I'll fill the bath with bubbles.
Hello and welcome to Bookstation. So I recently finished Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, which is obviously the first book in the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. I was going to do a conventional book review like I do with all books that I read, but I figured, well, you can go on YouTube and type in Harry Potter book review and find tens of thousands of conventional book reviews. And to be perfectly honest, everybody knows what this book and this series is about. So I thought instead, I'm not going to do a conventional review, but this still kind of counts as my review. I'm going to talk about my thoughts having read it 10 years after I first read it, and how it kind of compares with the movie and stuff. So we all know that usually the source material is better than the movie, which is no different with the Harry Potter books and movies. Now, obviously, I understand that when you make a book to movie adaptation, you know, when you take a book and turn it into a movie, there's certain things that work in the book which may not translate so well on the screen. Yes, I'm thinking of The Maze Runner and how Thomas and Teresa communicate by talking to each other in their heads and thinking, and, you know, talking to each other through their thoughts. But I didn't realise quite how much they actually missed out of the book, pardon me, in the movie. I'm not going to go into detail about exactly what it was, but I mean, there is a lot of stuff in the book that I simply didn't remember because I remembered the movie more than the book. And I mean, I've read the books each like 2 or 3 times over, but I mean, I've seen the first Harry Potter film probably about 7 or 8 times in my life. So obviously, I'm more familiar with the movie. Yes. So that's the one thing I wanted to pick up on, is that I didn't realise exactly how much was missed out. But I kind of, it sounds weird, but when I was reading certain parts and certain characters, when I reread this, I was kind of imagining how they said it in the movie in my head. Like, especially when I read the Sorting Hats poem, I read it like to myself as I remembered him saying it in the movie, which I thought was, at the time, I thought was just me thinking normally, and then I was like, oh, hang on, I've just said it exactly how it's said in the movie. Um, I know that's probably not very interesting, but that's something I picked up on. Um, I I don't know why, but I found this surprisingly more easy to read than I did when I first read it. I've read this in, what, 4 days? And it's a standard sized book, it's like 330 pages, and I read it in like 4 days. And I remember when I first read it, it took me a couple of weeks. I mean, maybe that's because I was younger, I was only about 14 at the time, 13, 14, maybe, possibly, but anyway. Yeah, but that might be why, but I found it so much easier to read this time. Um, and if you consider, this book was first written in, okay, it's first published in 1997. I'm not even gonna, I know it's probably quite an easy sum, but I'm not even gonna try and work it out in my head. But that is a long time ago, and it still reads really well. The good things, J.K. Rowling is obviously an amazing author, we all know that. Maybe not so much her crime books, I'm not, I mean, I tried to read a bit of The Cuckoo's Calling. No, it wasn't working for me. But, you know, the standard that this book and this series set for the literary world and the literary young reader kind of audience was, you know, it was, she set the bar pretty high. And you can still tell from reading this book now. Um, Her dialogue between characters and like the way she uses certain phrases to give you an idea of how the characters speak, if you see what I'm saying, is amazing. Like, obviously you know Hagrid like the way he speaks in the book makes you speak like that in your head when you're reading it. I don't know if that makes sense, but like sometimes in books they'll say, oh, this character has a southern accent, or this character has a Liverpudlian accent, and then they just write the text as normal. But obviously in here, you know, especially when Hagrid is talking, like I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like, yes. Anyway, we all know J.K. Rowling is the queen of dialogue, and she really is. I think that also made it easier for the book to flow for me. Yeah, so that's it really. I mean, that's all I have to say about it. Like I said, it's the first time I've read it in about, I don't know, maybe four years maybe, because I read it over and over when I was younger. But yeah, it's still as good as it was then, even better, because I read it really quickly, didn't expect to read it so quick, and I just loved it. And yeah, this was one of my Super Secret Sunday picks of the month, one of two, and I completed the first part of this Super Secret Sunday challenge because obviously it's not the end of the month yet, and I haven't read Sea of Monsters by Rick Riordan, but I don't think I'm going to finish that before the next Sunday, first Sunday of the month, which is 2 weeks, because there's something else I want to read. But yeah, so those are my basic thoughts on Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I would usually at this point say, let me know if you've read this book, what you thought about it, but like I said, it's Harry Potter. Of course you've read it. If you're watching this video and you haven't read Harry Potter, I don't know why you haven't delved into this world yet. But if you haven't, you really should, because even it's like I said, published in 1997, so even 13, 14 years on, it still reads as fresh as the day it was published. The dialogue is brilliant, the writing is brilliant and quick and fast and flows really well, and yeah, if you haven't read Harry Potter, read it. So yes, that is it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you wish, you may subscribe, and I will see you again very soon. Goodbye.
Guess I better wash my mouth out with soap. God, I wish I never spoke. Now I gotta wash my mouth out with soap. I feel it coming out my throat. Guess I better wash my mouth out with soap. God, I wish I never spoke. Now I gotta wash my mouth out with soap.